guys, so this is my 24 books for 2024. I tried to do this last year, did not work out so well. I just looked and I read three out of my 2023 goal list. So we failed that, but this year we're hopefully going to at least get more than 3. So my plan now, putting videos on YouTube instead of like TikTok, I want to try and have like vlog, book read things. I don't really know what they're called. I'm still new to this, but I'm gonna have like reading vlogs of me reading each of these 2024 books. Hopefully that will get me actually to read these books and everything will be good. Also, a little fun thing about this is that I'm going to actually have a random generator pick my books for me. I collected a list of 50 books and I can't decide because I'm indecisive. So I'm gonna have a computer decide for me. So I like made this little wheel. There's gonna be 2 of them because 50, and I'm gonna pick 12 from one and 13 from another one. So we'll just like randomly pick which one we're gonna do. Before we get into the actual picking, I wanna go over all the books that are on the list so that we can like see why I wanna read them, or I can guess why they're on my TBR, because there's some that's been on there for a while. And I know for a fact some of these on here was on my 2023. So hopefully we can hack at my TBR because it's insanely long and actually start reading these books. I know a lot of these books I haven't read out of like, I know this might sound stupid, but like fear for overhype, or like I'm intimidated by the book because I've heard really good things about it, or I'm just scared I'm not gonna like it because 2023 was not a good reading year for me. And so now I'm just a lot more hesitant in what I'm actually gonna read because I didn't read as much as I did in 2022. And I'm in the majorest book slump ever. And it's like I can get out of it a little bit and then I dive back right in. So hopefully this idea will help. I am a mood reader, so my plan is to kind of have it be, I have these 24 books and I can kind of pick from the list and see what I'm in the mood of reading. But yeah, let's get into it. My 50 books. These are just in random order. There's nothing particularly like why one is a B of the other. They're literally in just random orders. My first book on my 50 book list is going to be Fourth Wing, which is right here. If this happens to be on the 2024, I will definitely read it. My goal is just to read it in 2024 in general. So whether it's on it or not, I think I'm going to read it. And then in that video, while I'm reading Fourth Wing, I'll explain kind of the story about how I got it. But I'm kind of intimidated by it because it just blew up, and now I'm hearing like it's really good, but it's like overhyped, and like the second book isn't as good as the first book, and now I'm just like I am still hesitant. But I know that I think I would like this book because it has romance, it has the fantasy element, and then it has dragons. I love dragons. I fucking love dragons. It's a hopeful for 2024 regardless, because I just want to read the book and not be scared to read it. And I had like bought it now. So now it's part of like my physical TBR, which I need to read. And so it's just a lot of, let's just get this book read. So hopefully it pulls up. So the next one is An Heir Comes to Rise. I have started this book. I have a little TikTok video, kind of a couple videos regarding An Heir Comes to Rise. And I am 16% done with this book. I liked it. I love the freaking narrator. I stopped it, and then like 2 days later I had to return the book back to the library, and now I've just never picked it up again. So I would love to get this book read. And I think that it would be a really good book for me. I don't know why I look behind me. It's not there. The next one is Sweet Filthy Boy, and it is by Christina Lauren, and she's one of my favorite romance readers. I haven't read very many of her books yet this year, and I don't know why. I think the last book I read just kind of turned me off for a little bit. This is kind of like, I think, one of their first books that they've written. It's like a series. So I really want to get into this one, see if I like their roots in like one of their first books that they've released. And my goal is just to read all of Christina Lauren's. So this could just be technically any Christina Lauren, but I also just want to read this book in particular. My next one is actually a little different. I don't read a lot of nonfiction, and so I want to try and dabble a little bit more if it can keep my attention. I have to have some kind of an interesting premise for it. And this one is I'm Glad My Mom Died. I really liked this actor, so I was like, let's just see what this is about. And I've heard it's a very good book, so I want to read it. The Friend Zone is the next one. I have no idea why this is on my TBR. It's a romance book, and it probably sounded cute to me, so I just added it to my TBR, but it's been on there forever. I just need to get some of these like really old TBR read and see if I like them. So the next one is Defiance. I read another series by this author and I really liked those books. I was like, this one's more like kind of a fantasy series where it's actually like a full series rather than books that can go along with each other but they're standalones. I want to see what a series, like a continuation series, would look like from her. Kill the Queen is the next one. I had tried to read this. I think I've read like 3% of this book and then I just wasn't in the mood to read it, so I just dropped it, and I would like to try and get in the mood to read it because there's a sequel series that looks really good, and so I've read that you want to read this one first and this one sounds good too, so I just want to read it. The next one is Ash Princess, and this has also just been on my TBR for a long time. I think what's turned me away from this one is because I was like really in the mood to read smut, and some of these like kind of YA books don't really have it, so I just haven't been in the mood to pick it up because it doesn't have that spice, but I want to try and get a mix of both. The next one is We Hunt the Flame. Same idea, YA fantasy that's just been on my TBR for a while, and I want to get it read to see if I like it. Sorcery of Thorns. This is, I think, a standalone fantasy, which sounds interesting. Been on my TBR for a while. Want to read it. The Blacksmith Queen is the next one. I have actually never seen anything about this unless I look it up on TikTok. I've never seen anyone talk about this. It's never randomly popped up on my For You page. I think I just found it in trying to find books to read, and I've had this one on my TBR for a long time, and I want to see if it's good and if it deserves more hype or if it's like not super talked about because it isn't as good. So I want to dive in. The next one is Red Rising. I've heard so many good things about this. I have no idea why it's on my TBR. I couldn't tell you. I probably just found it interesting and threw it on there. I think I would enjoy this a lot. Since I was like looking through my TBR and like trying to figure out what I want to read, I went and like watched a lot of TikToks for this one, and it looks really good. The next one is People We Meet on Vacation. I read Beach Read by this author and I really enjoyed it, so I want to read the rest of her books, but I don't know when it happened, but I put this thing on myself where I'm like, I can only read winter books in winter and summer books in summer, and I need to chill out. I need to chill out. I just want to read this book in general. Hopefully we can just get it read sometime next year and not focus so much on the time frame, because I love the idea of like reading a book around the time so you can kind of feel the vibes, especially like Christmas and like holiday books, to be like feel the vibe of the holidays through books and like surrounding yourself with it, especially since I kind of struggle with holidays and I'm losing that holiday spirit. So I'm like, oh, let's read books. But I don't know why now summer now needs to be just warm books. Like I feel like it's perfectly fine to read a winter book in the summer and then a summer book in the winter because you're like craving the cold, you're craving the warmth in that time. So I think that's fine. So we'll just try and read this anytime. It doesn't matter if it's in the summer. It doesn't matter if it's in the summer. The next one is Carnival. I think that's how you say it. This one's been on my TBR for a very long time. It was probably one of the first books that was recommended to me on social media for a book. I just want to get it read. The Prison Healer, same kind of situation as Ash Princess and We Hunt the Flame. I think it's a YA fantasy, but it sounds really good. So I just need to read it. So we'll see if it gets popped up. The Way of the Shadows is the next one. This one I don't think has romance in it, and I very much love reading romance. These are these like epic fantasy books that I want to read, but I don't want to pick them up because they don't have fantasy in them. When I'm in moments where a little bit this year I've had like romance book slumps, and so I'm like, these are perfect for that time where I could just read about no romance or like very little romance. I do want to have some of these kind of books on there. The next couple books are kind of like that. Malice is the next one, same thing, epic fantasy, really want to read it. This one's been on my TBR for a little bit. I don't think it's been as long as like Carnival and these other ones, but it's been on there for a second, and I just keep seeing it like, hey, like get it for a hold on at the library. The next one's The Poppy War. I've heard amazing things about this one. Same thing, I don't think it has very much romance, so I've just been turned off by it, but I want to get it read. The next one is Twisted Love. So I actually haven't read very much dark romance, and I don't know if I am a dark romance girly. I think in moments I am, but not in all times. And then it also has to depend on the dark romance, I think, but I don't know enough. So I want to have some dark romance for next year so I can kind of decide if I like it, if I don't like it, but also decide what kind of dark romance I do or don't like. So that's why that's on there. City of Brass. This one's been on my TBR for a really long time. I have no idea how it got on there either. But I know that it doesn't have romance. I think it doesn't have romance. Some of these books are really hard to find if they have romance or not. That one has been on my TBR and I just want to get it read. On These Black Sands. This author I think is an indie author, or they're like a smaller author. They popped up on my social media media and I follow them. I like constantly see them pop up on my page and I love to interact with it, and their book sounds really good. So I bought it when I was kind of in the mood to read it. I bought it on Audible with one of my credits and I was gonna like start reading it, and then I just had no interest anymore. Being a mood reader is awesome. So yeah, I want to read this book, especially since it's on my like own TBR, because it's not physical, but it's like I own the audiobook, and so I want to get it read, and I think I would love it. I hope it pops up because I need to read it. I need it like an excuse to read it. Next one is The Shadow and the Ember. That one is up here. So I love From Blood and Ash. I might make a kind of a review video of my love of that series, but I love From Blood and Ash, and I want to read the next From Blood and Ash book, but I can't. I need to read like this prequel book, but I don't want to read the prequel book because I just want to read about Cass and Poppy and know more of the story. But then I'm like, I want more of this world. But like, I'm always like craving books very similar to From Blood and Ash, or like at least like that world where it's like fantasy, but then I love like the vampires thrown in there and like the werewolves. So I'll just make a separate video about From Blood and Ash. One of my coworkers, my old coworkers, was like, well, why don't you just read the prequel book, because it's like different characters, but it's still in that world that you love. And I'm like, I don't know. So I've tried to read this book. I just can't find time for it. So I have also this stupid rule in my brain. I need to stop with the rules and just have fun. I swear to God. If I own the physical book and I haven't read it, then I need to sit down and read with the physical book. Audiobooks are my best friend because then I can listen to them anywhere. I have such a hard time sitting down and reading a book. When I listen to audiobooks, I can drive. I can work on chores. I can do all these things. But with physical books, I have to sit there and I struggle with it a lot. And my just ADHD hates it. So I've gotten like 2 chapters into the book, no more. So I want this book read because I want to finish From Blood and Ash. I want to catch up. I'm far behind now and I just want to read it. So I really hope this pops up. I think it might just be on my 2024 regardless. Six of Crows is the next one. I bought this book when it was on a very insane deal, and I kind of just bought all of Six of Crows and all of Shadow and Bone. Six of Crows, it's like the placeholder, but I will need to read Shadow and Bone first. So technically I should put Shadow and Bone up here. But if it pops up, then I will read all of the Shadow and Bone and all of the Six of Crows duology. I don't know. I know it's really popular and I've been wanting to read it for a really long time, but the fact it was only on Audible held me off, but then there was that really good deal and now I own them and I can read them at any time. I just haven't. The next one is Guild. I also own this on Audible, so I have no excuse not to read this. I am a little scared jumping into this one because I feel like it's gonna be a perfect book for me, but I've heard so many reviews saying go into it blind, and that just kind of terrifies me a little bit, especially with my book slump and my untrusting of books right now. Hopefully we can get this one. The next one is Air Awakens, and I also own this book on Audible. I own the whole series on Audible because this one was also on a good deal, and you could buy the whole series for really cheap. Just haven't read it yet. There's a lot of books I just need to read. Curse of the Fallen is the next one. That's up here, but I don't think you can see it. This is an indie author. I found her, I don't even know how I found her. I think I found her on Facebook and I've just been following her journey a little bit. This cover, gorgeous. And so it like drew me in, and her story drew me in. And so I bought the book and now I have the second book. And so I want to read this book. It sounds really good. I just, again, own the book. I own the audiobook. Haven't had time to just sit down and read. The next one is The Unhoneymooners. This is also Christina Lauren's, same idea. I want to read all of her books. It's just kind of another placeholder. If I get to The Unhoneymooners, great. If I get to another one I haven't read, great. The next one is A Curse of Queens. Right here, I have the first book in the new cover, which is gorgeous. So it had the 30 books, right? And I was really liking it, hated the ending. Had no idea there was a 4th book until like a year later. And I'm like, what do you mean there's a 4th book? So this might help with my hatred of the ending. So I need to read this. A lot of these books I need to read. Next one is Rhythm of War. Read all 3 of the first books. Loved the 2. I kind of absorbed this entire series, especially the 3rd book, way too fast. They're huge books, and these are the hugest books I've ever read. It was a lot. I think I got overwhelmed, burnt out. It was a lot. So I just need to read the book. The next one is Ember in the Ashes. I've heard great things about this book. I don't know why I'm scared to go into it. I just don't know why. We're almost done. 50 books is a lot of books. I might have went a little hard. The next one is Neon Gods. Same idea, kind of spicy, wanna dip more into the kind of dark romance, spicy aspect. I've tried to read this book once, went into it, was really confused because I was like, what's going on? Because it was not the setting I was expecting, and then was turned off by it, so then I stopped reading it. A lot of these books I've started to try, but then I just wasn't in the mood. And so I will give it usually an hour and then I will DNF it. But if I read like 5 minutes of it and just am not loving it, then I can move on and then just try that one again, and I don't consider that a DNF. The next one is The Red Queen. It is right here as well. That's one of the first books I bought when I started really getting into books, and that was only a couple of years ago. I got like halfway into this book. Then like things just happened and I didn't like the unrealisticness of it, I guess, and I got really turned off by it and I DNF'd it. So I want to give it one more shot. I've heard good things about Red Queen. One of my favorite book talker read it and absolutely loved it, and I feel like we have kind of some similar taste in books, and so I want to try and give Red Queen another chance. The next one is Scales of Ash and Smoke. I really want to read this book. This is another indie author that I've been just following a lot. I love her presence on social media. I think I would love the idea of this book, more dragons. So I need to read it. I've been wanting to buy it and I just haven't yet, but I really want to read this one. A Court of Honey and Ash is the next one. I haven't heard very much about this book. The cover is gorgeous, so kind of want to read it by the cover. I don't really fully know what this book's about. The next one is The Deal. I've been seeing this more recently because I've been kind of wanting to read more sports romances. I also keep getting attracted by the book cover whenever I go to like Target, because it's like usually right there in the center at Target. So I just want to read this one. The next one is Zodiac Academy. I've heard very mixed things about this one. I've heard it's really good and like pulls you in, and I've heard it's like really crappy and very fan fiction-y, but then it gets better. I've heard mixed things about it. I bought it. I want to try to read it. I think it will be great. I think I should just try it. I just haven't yet. A lot of these books I own. Is this how book reading goes? I think this is common. The next one is The Shadow of the Gods. I love this cover. I'm not gonna lie. I am very attracted by this cover. I love the giant dragon and the tiny human. I love it. Next one is Graceling. I actually own this one. It's right here. I don't know why I keep looking at this camera. I'm really sorry. I need to look right here. So this one I got in a blind mystery box. I had no idea what it was going to be, and it looks really pretty, and I love the new cover, and I think I'll enjoy this book, and I just need to read it, like all of these books. The Fine Print is another spice one that I've heard so much about on TikTok. Because I've heard so much about it on TikTok, I'm a little nervous to read it, but I'm also excited to try and dig into my dark romance girly era. The next one is Watched. This one has a story behind it, so if this one comes up, I will tell you all about the story, but I've been wanting to read this for a very long time. Another one is A Curse So Dark and Lonely. That is right here. I tried to read this. I think I got like 4 or 5 chapters into it, was liking it, but my ADHD just could not handle it. It just couldn't focus. So I was just like, I had to stop it and try something else that caught my ADHD's attention. Next one is Jade City. I think I found this one the same time as City of Brass. I've just been wanting to read it. They look really interesting. Fantasy. Love that. The next one is Night Circus. So I read The Starless Sea. I don't know if this is a not popular opinion, but I did not like The Starless Sea. Did not really like the characters. I think it had premise, but I think it was just too all over the place for me. But I've heard that The Starless, like a lot of people like The Starless Sea. So I was really surprised when I was one of the ones who didn't. So I want to try this author one more time. I'm a little nervous just because of how much I did not like The Starless Sea. And if I just don't like this book either, this author just isn't for me. The next one is Once Upon a Broken Heart. I've heard amazing things about this, seen the new cover, or I think it's like the special cover, gorgeous. And it kind of keeps popping up on my FYP and like my other social medias. I think that's a sign that it wants me to read it. The next one is A Kiss of Deception. I really want to read this. I've wanted to read it for a while. Like this has been on my TBR for a while, and I actually really want to read Dance of Thieves as well. I think that's what it's called. But the Dance of Thieves duology is actually a follow-up to The Kiss of Deception, and you should read The Kiss of Deception first. The next one is Daughter of the Pirate King. I actually met the author for this. Have not read any of her books. There was someone I used to talk to. We kind of bonded over books and did not live in my state, and the author came to my state for FanX. And so I was like, hey, if you just fly out your books to me, I'll get them signed for you. And while I was getting her book signed for her, I got a book signed for me. What's wrong here? I really want to read this book. It sounds really good, and I've actually wanted to read it, and it was really cool meeting the author. She was very nice. The next one is The Atlas Six. Heard great things about this one. I think it would be right up my alley. It's been on my TBR for a while. Just haven't read it. My camera is about to die. Love that. So the next one is Assistant to the Villain. I've heard great things about this. I kind of saw the author before she like published her book. I think it would be great. I really want to read it. I follow the author. I just want to know what the story's about and like see if I like it, and I can't wait to meet the villain and all these things. The next one is The Blood Spell. So this is the final book in the Ravenspire series. This is the same author as Defiance. I just want to finish the series up. I loved all the books. I think they're great. I think they're cute, simple fantasy. Some of them can get kind of intense, and I like them a lot. And they're retellings of fairy tales, and I think they're great. So I want to read this one, and I want to finish it off. So I thought I would throw an easy one I definitely want to read soon. And then the last one is The Stopover. I think I automatically get this book for free because of my membership with Audible. This one's either Billionaire or Mafia. I can't remember, honestly. But it's been on my TBR for a while, and I think it's time for me to read it. With that being said, that's all 50 books that we're gonna pull. I'm so sorry, that was really long. This is why I'm starting YouTube instead of TikTok, because I like to talk. But yeah, those are all my books. And I think it's time to roll the wheels. But I have to go charge my camera first, so I will be right back. Okay. So it is time to spin. I'm so excited. What I can see on my screen here, you guys can see right here. Here's our first wheel of books. On each wheel is 25. I couldn't fit 50 all in one wheel because that would be a lot. So this will be right here, and I'm gonna look down here. Are you ready? I'm so excited. I'm so excited. What is my first out of 24 books for 2024? Oh, okay. Okay, what are we gonna get? What are we gonna get? Okay, look at that. Look at that. We got a winner. What is number 2 in our 24 for 2024? Oh, that's cool. I've been wanting to read this book for a while. Okay, I'm excited about that. Okay, let's roll again. So that is 2 out of 12 that we're gonna do on this wheel. Oh, okay. Okay. I finally get to read this one. It's been sitting right here for a very long time. Let's roll again here. So that one was number 3. This is number 4. Ooh, that was a close one. That was a close one. Oh, I get to finally read this book. Or the goal is to finally read this book. That's exciting. Ooh, I'm excited. Isn't that cover just gorgeous? Okay. That was 4, right? I'm already losing track. This is great. I like how the wheel gets like slightly and slightly bigger. Okay, I think it was a sign. I think the fact that it's pulling up right now means it's time for me to read this book. And this is fun. I'm having a lot of fun. It's kind of slightly awkward because I don't fully know how to like respond besides like, yay! Like, I want to read all these books. Okay, 7 more from this wheel. Let's see. I also forgot to say, comment down below what you hope is picked for me to read. Like some of your favorite reads that you're hoping that I will discover and hopefully love as much as you, or just ones that you're curious on hearing my opinion for. I would love to have you guys let me know what you guys are interested in, like being picked. So, oh, it's time for the Red Queen retry. It's time, folks. I think these are all signs. Hopefully this is the universe telling me what I should be reading in 2024, because it is just fate. It's just whatever the wheel of choice picks. We're going to trust the universe, and hopefully I will like all these books. Watch, these books are gonna all, either I'm gonna love them all or I'm gonna hate them all. Ooh, that was close. I didn't even watch that fully. That was close. The Kiss of Deception, finally, I can just read this. I've been wanting to, like, I keep like wanting to put a hold on it or keep like wanting to rent it from the library, and I just never started. So I finally, like, I've had this in my loan shelf in Libby 5 million times. Okay, that is 7 books. Let's see what our book 8 is. Easy. I'm already gonna read this anyway, so that's gonna be great. I'm kind of really wanting a couple books to pop up, so we're gonna see. We're gonna see if they do. Okay. Wheel, okay. Is this the first dark romance that we've gotten pulled? Yeah, it is. The first dark romance. Okay, maybe that's the universe's saying this is a good one to start, or it's just literally random. Maybe I'm looking too much into this. Maybe it's just whatever the wheel decides. I will finally finish the series. I think there might be another book after this too. But I just remember how much the series infuriated me. So maybe while I'm doing this, I can kind of do a review of the series and see if this book helps change my view of the series. Okay, 2 more. 2 more, guys. We have like a lot of books still on this wheel. This is insane. What do you guys think the final 2 are gonna be? Comment down below. What do you think? Ooh, there's so many good ones. I'm gonna look away. I'm gonna look away. Y'all are gonna be able to see it right here, but I'm not even watching. Okay. Another retry. That was close. There's been a lot of these close ones. Okay, last one for this wheel. I kind of really want. There are 4 books that I would be happy with. There are 4 books. All of them I would be happy with, but there are 4 in particular that I'm like, I want to read them, so I might just read them anyways in 2024, but like they won't go off my list, and that would be like, it could have been a book off my list because I was reading it anyways. Okay, I need to just read. I just need a spin. I'm not getting too excited. Yes! Yay! I wanted to read this book. I'm gonna read this book in 2024. It's probably gonna be one of the first ones I read. Oh, I'm excited about this one. I've been following the author for just like so long. Okay, let's see here. We missed out on 1, 2, 13 on this wheel. So this is the next wheel. This one has a nice variety as well. What is our 13th now? This wheel's first one. Let's see here. Ooh, okay. Something's holding me back from actually reading the book. So I love this. Okay, number 2. I like all of like the dark covers. They're funny. Oh, that's awesome. That means I get 2 books by this author for next year. This is gonna be my CJ Red Wine year. So that will be fun. I'm really curious to see if I like these ones as much as I like the Ravenspire series. I think that's a really silly coincidence that the fact that there are only 2 books by the same author on this. No, that's a lie. Cause what is, oh, I'm not even paying attention. Okay. This is the universe being like, get your ass together and finally read the book. Okay, that was a lie. So what I was saying before, it was there are only 4 books that have the same author. So there's 2 with the same author and then another 2 with the same author. And so the fact that I got 2 from the same author is wild. And the fact that I haven't gotten any of the other author is weird too. Oh, I think I would love On These Black Sands. I love pirates. They're one of my favorite things. Okay. Let's go. Spin, 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 spin. Let's pay attention. Okay. I've been really drawn to this book. I think I will really like this one a lot. I like we got one without romance in it. That will be really nice. Kind of have an option for a break. Oh, did not mean to spin it again. Here we go. Ooh, a second dark romance book. Okay. We will see which one I pick first. If you guys have an opinion on which one I should pick first, comment down below. Okay, I got 17 books. We got 7 left. Here we go. It's like, read your TBR. These have been on my TBR for a very long time. It's like, get your shit together and finally read your TBR. I have to make a video about just trying to tap my TBR. Ooh, okay. City of Brass. This one's been on there, I think, longer. One of the longest ones. I'm excited to see if I like this one. I'm excited to film all of my, like, me filming these all with you guys. This would be fun. Oh, I was waiting for this one to pop up. Fine universe. I will read it. I will read it. I will make time for it. I will do it. I'm listening. 4 more. Okay. That was loud. Holy shit. Oh, okay. This one I've always been hesitant about because I just have never seen anything about it. But that doesn't mean it's bad. That doesn't mean that it's inherently bad. I love the cover. The cover's gorgeous. I can't wait. That will be fun, hopefully. I don't know anything about that book. We're just talking out of our ass a little bit right now because I don't really know. 3 left. What's the third to last? Oh, okay. It's finally time to dive into the book I think I will love. But I've been so scared to start. It's The Universe. You know what I'm surprised that hasn't been pulled yet? 4th Wing. Maybe I'm not ready for 4th Wing yet. Maybe The Universe is like, let's just dip our feet into some of these other ones. Because I haven't read very many fantasy in 2023. So it's giving me some good fantasy options, I think. Okay. Second to last. Only 2 more. Okay. Okay, everybody. This is the last one. What do you think the last one's gonna be? Put it in the comments below. There's a lot of good ones left in this. I can't believe that there still isn't one from Christina Lauren. That's wild. Okay, y'all ready? Okay, my last book in my 24 books for 2024 is, now this is where the drum roll comes. thing, right? And then you'll put an actual turbo sound. And it is, oh, wasn't expecting that one. Okay, it's a nonfiction book, the only nonfiction book in this entire list. I'm not too mad. I'm not too mad with what the fates have decided. I think there's a good selection here. There's a couple that I would have really liked, but that's okay. There's a couple I'm a little nervous about, but a lot of these I've been wanting to read for a while. Ooh, I get to retry a couple of things, gotta re-go into some worlds that I kind of am familiar with and see if I like them. So these are my 24 for 2024. Okay, well, thank you for coming along for the ride. Thanks for letting me just babble about 50 books and letting the spinners decide my 24 books. Now, the last thing to comment is, what do you think my first book that I'm going to start to try and read is for the 2024 books? Ooh, I'm excited. I'm excited. That was so much fun. Thank you again for coming along with me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.